Welcome friends, today we will study the structure of ascidian tadpole larva. Structure of ascidian tadpole. We are going to study the structure of ascidian tadpole larva. First, this larva, it is the structure of this larva. I will explain in brief the total structure of this larva. But first, this is the larva, the brief introduction. This is the larva of Haldmania. Means it is a Haldmanian larva. It is the larva of Haldmania. Then it is transparent. It is minute. 1.5 millimeter long. It is a transparent, minute, 1.5 millimeter long, and it is motile. Main organ which is involved in the locomotion of this ascidian tadpole larva is the tail. So it is motile and locomotion is with the help of tail. Now the ascidian tadpole larva is divided into two parts. Its body is divided into two parts. First is head or trunk. Second is tail. This head or trunk is cylindrical, elongated and oval. It is cylindrical, elongated and oval type, and tail is narrow and elongated. Now we will first study the head part in detail. First part, head or the trunk in detail. First, the head part has these three adhesive papilla as it is the lateral view. So you are viewing only two adhesive papilla, but there are three adhesive papilla. Anterior, and its anterior end it bear three adhesive papilla. And the distribution of three adhesive papilla are that there are two these dorsolateral adhesive papilla and there is ventrocentral adhesive papilla. So three adhesive papilla, two are dorsolateral, one is ventrocentral. These adhesive papilla are involved in the attachment during metamorphosis, and these are made up of sensory epithelia. Okay. Now the next part is mouth. Now prior to go to mouth, we will study about this sensory vesicle. In the dorsal part there is a central sensory vesicle. This sensory vesicle is known as sensory vesicle. It has the various synonyms known as sensory vesicle, cerebral vesicle, brain vesicle, or brain. Now this sensory vesicle or the brain vesicle contain the two parts. One is ocellus and another is the otocyst. There are the two main larval sensory organs that are ocellus and the otocyst. Okay. Now when we comes to the ocellus or the ottocyst, now we will study in detail about the sensory vesicle. The sensory vesicle is made up of two parts. One is ocellus. It is made up of two parts. Okay, so sensory vesicle contain two main larval sense organ. Contain two main larval sense organs. First is ocellus. This ocellus is also known as the eye or eye spot. Okay, this ocellus is known as eye spot. This ocellus is sensitive photoreceptor. Okay, it is sensitive photoreceptor, helps in detection of light and the absence of light. So it ocellus can't determine or distinguish between the colors, but it is the sensitive photoreceptor determine the presence or the absence of light. Okay, now the second receptor that is present in the sensory vesicle is ottocyst. It is also known as statocyst or the otolith. Now, what is the function of this ottocyst, statocyst or the otolith? These are three synonyms. Now, how to remember this? There are the two main larval sense organs present in the sensory vesicle. There are the ocellus, that is OO. Remember just OO, that is ocellus or the ottocyst. Okay, ocellus and the ottocyst. So, what is the function of this ottocyst? Ottocyst is gravitational receptor. It is known as the gravitational receptor, and the function of ottocyst is for balancing. Works for balancing and acts as the balancing organ. Okay, it works for balancing. Now, after this, in front of this sensory vesicle is the presence of the in front. Now this sensory vesicle is over. Now in front of this sensory vesicle there is solid conical and solid conical mass of nerve cells. In front of this sensory vesicle there is the solid conical mass of the nerve cell known as cerebral cone. Behind this, now in front of this sensory vesicle, in the front of this sensory vesicle is cerebral cone. It is situated in front of sensory vesicle. But behind this sensory vesicle there is solid. It is also solid, but circular or the oval mass. Circular or the oval mass of nerve cells. Known as visceral ganglia. In front of the sensory vesicle is the cerebral cone, and the back of it is the presence of visceral ganglia. It is all about the sensory organs. In the sensory vesicle there is the presence of ocellus. Ocellus is the sensitive photoreceptor, detects the presence and the absence of light. Now second photoreceptor, second receptor is autocyst. It is the gravitational receptor, work for balancing, act as balancing organ. It is here, it is autocyst, here it is sensory vesicle, it is ocellus. Now in front of this ocellus, in front of the sensory vesicle or the cerebral vesicle or the brain vesicle or the brain is presence of cerebral cone. These are all the synonyms of the sensory vesicle. Remember it. This will help you to extend the matter. Okay. Now in front of this sensory vesicle is the presence of the cerebral cone. Solid. It is solid conical mass and solid conical mass. And in now behind this sensory vesicle is the presence of the visceral ganglion. It is solid but circular and oval. Okay. Now the next part is this presence. Now next part is the digestive system. Okay. One point, remember one point, that visceral ganglion, from the visceral ganglion there is the posterior extension. From this visceral ganglion there is the posterior extension of the nerve cell known as the nerve cord. This is the nerve cord. This entire region is the posterior extension of this visceral ganglion and is known as nerve cord. Okay, visceral ganglion extends posteriorly as nerve cord. Okay, we are studying the trunk part, and within this trunk part there is also another system, that is the digestive system of this ascidian tadpole larva. Remember again that it is the larva of herdmania. Okay. Now what about the digestive system? For the digestive system there is the presence of the mouth on its dorsal side. Okay, mouth. There is mouth on mid dorsal region. On this mid dorsal region there is the presence of mouth, and mouth leads to branchial siphon. And this branchial siphon, what is meant by branchial siphon? Now there are the numerous entries, there are the numerous entry points. Now when this incurrent siphon means tube-like structure, and where there is incurrent type means there is intake of something, as it is the digestive system, so there will be the digestive means it will take a food or something that is taking in. Okay, now that is taken in. Okay, now this part, it is tube like and is known as the branchial siphon. Mouth is mid dorsal in location, and it leads to branchial siphon, and this branchial siphon leads to the pharynx. Now this pharynx is the large sac-like structure. Okay, I will give this passage. Mouth will lead to branchial siphon, then this branchial siphon leads to pharynx. This pharynx is tubular, long, elongated, sac-like. Okay, now this pharynx leads to esophagus. This esophagus is narrow, elongated, and this esophagus leads to stomach. Stomach is the swollen part. This is the stomach, and this stomach is the swollen part, and this stomach leads to narrow, delicate intestine, and now this intestine leads to rectum, and finally this rectum will leads to anus. Anus, the function of anus, this rectum joins to this arteriopore from this left side, that is back side, which is the left side. We can consider this as right side of this lateral view, and behind this is left side is present. So this rectum joins to this arteriopore from the left side, and it leads to this arteriopore or the anus, and these arteriopores or the anus, the function of anus is performed by the arteriopore. Now this arteriopore function as excurrent canal. Means it was the incurrent canal and this is the excurrent canal. Excurrent canal means the canal which is used for the elimination of the waste product. So okay, so it is excurrent canal which leads to outside. The lateral meaning is that the canal which leads to outside is known as the excurrent canal. Okay, now it is entire about the digestive system. Digestive system is rudimentary. The main point is that digestive system is rudimentary. Now this arteriopore is made up of secretory endothelium. Okay, arteriopore or the atrium. Arteriopore in the sense entire atrium. Entire atrium is made up of secretory epithelium. This secretory, this atrium covers this pharynx from lateral and the dorsal side and leads to outside by this arteriopore. Okay, and atrium is made up of secretory epithelium. Now this entire covering, present on this larva is made up of tunic or the test. Entire body is covered by is made up of tunic or the test. This tunic or the test is secreted by the epithelium of the body. The outer epithelium secretes this tunic or the test. Okay, secreted by epithelium. Okay, this is outer one is tunic covering, and below that is presence of the epithelium. Okay, this outer covering is made up of tunic or the test. Now laterally there is the presence of gill slit. One pair of gill slit on the each side. These gill slits split and forms the 6 stigmata. Okay, it is the important point. These 6 stigmata function as the gill slits for the respiration. There are the 2 lateral gill slits on the each side, and this gives rise to 6 stigmata. By splitting of this one pair on the each side, one pair. Due to this splitting of this one pair of gill slit on the each side, it leads to the 6 stigmata. Now we will come to the tail part. The tail of this larva, it is the elongated structure. Okay, it is elongated, motile. It is the locomotory organ. It is elongated, motile, and contain notochord supported by dorsal nerve cord. Okay, the axial skeleton, axial means this notochord. Okay, this notochord forms the axial skeleton of the tail and it is supported by dorsal nerve cord. You can see in this diagram that on the dorsal side there is the presence of this nerve cord. Okay, this nerve cord is present on dorsal side of this notochord. Okay, now the notochord forms the axial skeleton and it is the peculiar characteristic of chordates, means the larva showing the feature of the chordates. Similar to chordates, it has notochord and the dorsal nerve cord. Okay, now the why we are studying this larva, because it shows the retrogressive metamorphosis, means this highly modified larva showing the characteristic of chordates after maturation it shows the characteristic of non-chordates. One part that that were excluded where this heart, intestine and stomach we will see in short. Okay, this heart is present on the posterior ventral side. Okay, this heart is on the trunk. This heart is present on the posterior ventral side of the trunk and this heart is surrounded by pericardial cell. So this heart is present between this pharynx and the stomach on the posterior ventral side. Okay, this heart is present on the posterior ventral side in between the pharynx and the stomach. Okay, intestine we have seen in short that intestine is elongated, thin, delicate structure, and this intestine leads to the short rectum, and this rectum from the left side leads to the atrium or the arteriopore, and through the excurrent canal or this arteriopore it is excreted out. We will see some additional information or the memory facts. Okay, memory facts. In this section, if you remember the diagram that I have drawn previously, so there was the endostyle. So you have to remember that diagram. There is the presence of the endostyle on the ventral side of the trunk. Okay, so in the memory facts, you should remember the endostyle. Go back to the video and see the presence of endostyle where it is present. Okay, now the another point is the memory aid or the memory fact. Another point is the ocellus. We have seen that ocellus. I am giving you the additional information about this ocellus. Ocellus was the simple eye. Was ocellus or the simple eye. This simple eye contains, as you know, you might know the structure of this simple eye. The simple eye contains single cornea, lens and pigmented retina. It contains lens, cornea and retina, that is pigmented. It is the structure of this Hardmanian simple eye, and as in general. Okay, cornea is the transparent part present in front of the eye. Lens, you know about the lens of our eyes, and retina is the pigmented part. You can see the human eye and remember these parts. Okay, and compare this part with this analogy. Okay, now another part is The tail part, additional information about tail part is that this tail contain notochord, dorsal nerve cord, and this tail is supported by the myotomes. Okay, this tail is supported by myotome, that is muscle cells. I am giving this additional information apart from this normal matter that is given in the textbook. So all of you read that. This extra matter will help you to gain more marks and to score better. So thank you. That's all. And please like, share and subscribe.